I'm ready to hit the panic button just a little bit with the Arizona Cardinals. Just a little bit. I've been at training camp. I dropped a vlog. Hope you guys liked that. Not my best work, I would say, but, we learn as we go. I was at the practice in which B.J. Ojulari went down. I saw the clip. I watched it happen in real time. It was right in front of my face. I was talking with PHNX Cardinals Bo Brock, and him and I were trying to figure out who was it on the field. I didn't have my glasses on. My eyesight's not great. Bo Brock was like, who is that? And I go, I think it's B.J. Ojulari. We're both running down there, trying to tweet it out, trying to talk about it. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia's show. And it really didn't hit me until Saturday when I did a radio show with Jackson Groff, another colleague of mine. B.J. Ojulari, losing him could be a massive terminal blow to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, we can talk all day about Haason Reddick. I am all in on the Haasonic trade. I am all in on that. Now, this team, I don't think, is at the win now, and if they don't figure it out, they are screwed. There's a lot of fans out there that are $110 million in cap space next year. Make a move. The reason why the Cardinals have that much cap space is because they haven't been ridiculous in their signings. They've made smart, capable signings that help this team. But this league has always been about building in the draft. It has never been about free agents and trades. That's not the case. It will never be the case. What matters in the NFL is how well you draft. And the Cardinals recently have drafted pretty well. Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, you name it on this team. Who knows? Maybe Trey Benson really breaks out. Yoda Froholtz, the center, that's a guy they got. This offense, they didn't draft Yoda Froholtz, but they do have him now. This offense, they're clearly saving their pennies for when all these guys come up and need contracts. Look at the 49ers. They're not going to pay Brandon Ayuk. They can't pay Brandon Ayuk because now they got Trent Williams and they got Brock Purdy coming on. They have a money problem. You know who doesn't have a money problem? The Arizona Cardinals. If Kyler Murray has a breakout season this year, just a monstrous season, he's going to hold out next year. He's not going to want to make $46 million a year. Michael Wilson, second year of a 4-year deal. He does well this year. He's going to want a new deal. Trey McBride, third year of a 4-year deal. You got to save those pennies for down the road. And trust me, that money is not as plentiful as you think. So this $110 million is what I try to explain to 49ers fans too, is you're saving that money. Here's why I'm in on the Haason Reddick thing. And then I'll talk about what happens if they don't do that. Haason Reddick makes sense. He fits the mold. If I'm not mistaken, he hasn't missed a single game in the NFL. If he has, it's like 1 or 2. And he's played since, I believe, 2015. Haason Reddick can play. And double-digit sacks in, I believe, his last 4 or 5 seasons. Including one where it was 17 and a half sacks. He's 29 years old. I believe there's a deal out there where you could trade for Haason Reddick and get him here for a 4th round, 5th round pick, 3 years. He's still on this timeline of winning. That all makes sense. Haason Reddick works for the Arizona Cardinals. Not old, not particularly young, kind of in that sweet spot where you'll still get him for probably 2 more prime years. And guess what? The Cardinals are going to need a pass rusher next year as well. So you help solve that issue too. But let's say they don't do anything. Let's say they believe in the guys they have, Xavier Thomas, Zaven Collins, all these guys. Let's say it doesn't work out. I am very bullish on the Arizona Cardinals this year. I've capped their wins at 9. I believe they're going to be the 7th seed in the playoffs this year, but I'm not going to call it a failure if they go 8-9 and they just miss the playoffs. I'm not crazy. Here's what can really ruin the Cardinals season. If they do nothing about B.J. Ojulari, and they're wrong about their pass rush room, it's not as good as they think. And B.J. Ojulari was that key piece they needed. And doesn't matter how good I think the defensive backs have been in camp this year. Doesn't matter how much of a strong suit I believe it can be. You could put the Legion of Boom back there. You got no pass rush, it ain't working out. That Seahawks Legion of Boom team, Cliff Averill, Michael Bennett, real deal pass rushers, you need that. And if teams are just picking apart these guys because they can't get any pass rush, that could swing a team that I believe that can win 9 games, only win 5 or 6 games. That's a real possibility. Even the worst quarterbacks, Daniel Jones last year, picked apart the Cardinals because they could not get a sack, could not get a pressure. That's an issue. That's a huge issue. I believe the Cardinals got to make a move. Because if it is so bad, the pass rush that is, if it is so bad that it's 5 wins, 6 wins on the season, that's not a great season. And then you start to look at Jonathan Gannon. Even if Kyler Murray has an awesome season, I am totally bought into Monty Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon. I think they're awesome, superb at what they do. First year for Jonathan Gannon, you kind of give him a little bit of a break. The personnel was awful. I wasn't so much against the scheme. But you think of it like this. If the pass rush is so bad, and Jonathan Gannon can't get anything out of them, and they only win 6 games because teams are just picking them apart because it doesn't matter if they have a good or great or terrible quarterback. All quarterbacks can pick apart a defense if they have enough time. See Daniel Jones last year in the second half where they beat the Cardinals because they couldn't get a pressure. And the Cardinals missed the playoffs. And it's kind of a disappointing season because of how bad the pass rush was. Because the corners can't cover everyone forever. And then you start to really think, how bad could this get? Then you start to think, is JG a good head coach? He can't even get his side of the ball correct. The easy insights of how good a head coach is how good is their side of the ball? D'Amico Ryan's defense, pretty good last year. Kyle Shanahan's offense, awesome. Andy Reid's offense. JG, we kind of need you to fix the defense. Could all this good juju for the Arizona Cardinals go away because their pass rush is that bad? It's 6 wins. JG looks like he can't figure out the defense. The pass rush isn't there. Teams are picking them apart. This is why the Cardinals have to make a move. Because it is okay if the Cardinals are average this year. 7 wins, 8 wins, at the highest of highs, in my opinion, great, 9 wins. But if they win 5 games this year, all that good juju with the fan base, 26,000 plus that showed up to the red and white scrimmage the other day, it's all gone. Same old Cardinals. They can never get it figured out. What is Monty Ossenfort doing? Can JG even coach? It might not be DEFCON 1, hit the red button, break glass in case of emergency. But there's some panic in that Cardinals locker room, or at least there should be. And seeing Jonathan Gannon speak, seeing Zaven Collins speak at the press conference the other day, I was there as well. They seem calm. And I kind of need a fire to be lit under their you-know-what. Because I believe this team is in desperate need of a pass rusher. And if they throw everything at it and it doesn't work, what are you going to say? They tried their best. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Maybe it's not Haason Reddick. Maybe it's going and getting Yannick Ngakoue. I'm not against that either. But you have to do something. Because a blank, poor pass rush can cost you a season in which there's a lot of good juju. The fan base is starting to fall in love with you. Everyone is starting to love what the Cardinals are doing. But this pass rush is no small feat. It is an issue, and it's got to be addressed. And you cannot allow this pass rush dilemma cost the Cardinals a great and potentially very promising season.